All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So today I'm going to actually show you my actual computer that I use for daily computing. And I have a lot of laptops out there that I use throughout the house. And my main machine is my 14-inch MacBook Pro that I edit with and, do some things with. But ultimately, I use a 34-inch all-in-one ultra-wide screen 5K monitor setup from HP. So today I'm going to show you my setup and we're going to talk about how I've been using it for the last 4 to 5 months or so. Let's go. Now, you can actually get this computer spec'd in a lot of different ways, and the baseline configuration is actually pretty good, but I would suggest that you spec it up. Now, mine is spec'd up just a little bit, but let me tell you the standard it comes on here. It comes with a Core i5 11th gen. You get the 1650 graphics card from NVIDIA, and you get 16 gigs of RAM. So, and then I think standard it comes with 512 gigs of storage, I believe. Yeah, it's standard. It comes with 512 gigs of storage. Now, mine, you can get this spec all the way up to a Core i9. Mine is spec with a Core i7, and I still have 16 gigs of RAM. And then I spec it up with the 1 terabyte M2 SSD. So you can go all the way up to 128 gigs of RAM in here, DDR4, and I think you'll probably need to get at least if you're going to be doing some heavy editing. Now my workflow isn't normally on this computer. Like I said, I use my MacBook Pro 14 to do the real strenuous work. But this computer, as I have it, can technically have it. But if you plan on having just this computer, go ahead and go up to at least another 32 gigs, or go 32 gigs, or maybe 64, or even 128 gigs of RAM if you decide you're just really gonna need all the power you can get. And then obviously, if you're doing that, you're gonna want to go to a Core i9, and the price will spike a little bit. So my configuration is about $2,100 as it sits, and I think it's really nice. So the some things about this computer itself is it has two speakers on it, two dual speakers that kind of sit on the bottom, and they're kind of hidden away because remember this is all in one, and so the computer itself is actually in the stand portion, the little circular portion of it. So this is just a really nice setup. But it has Bang& Olufsen speakers on here, and they're not they're loud, but I don't hear as much bass as I would like. And I used to have external speakers, but to me, it just kind of took away from the all-in-one setup. So these are loud enough. And again, I could just plug in if I really need to hear some serious tones and things when I'm editing. But again, I use my MacBook for all the main editing. So the speakers on here are nice. It comes with a wireless mouse and wireless keyboard. I think that was pretty nice because, again, this is all in one. And then one of the main things I like about it is it actually has a wireless base. So the base of the computer, the stand, is actually a wireless charge, and it is fast wireless charging. So I think that is just crazy nice. But for me, the star of the show is the 5K monitor that it has. I was really impressed with this when I thought like 5K really, and yeah, 5K. So I used to have a 34-inch ultra wide screen monitor, 1080p from LG that I used when I was using my Mac Mini, or I used any other Mac or just any computer, and I wanted to link up another monitor. But again, moving to an all-in-one for me, and I needed a very clean setup. And then the fact that this one has wireless charging on the base is absolutely great, man. I mean, it's a nice setup. So again, the reason I waited to show this computer because I actually didn't know if I would like it or not. So, or I was even going to keep it at all. And I don't showcase everything I bring on the channel, but most of the things I do show you if I'm sure and confident I might like it. But if it turns into a catch and release, it turns into a catch and release. But this thankfully didn't, because boxing it up would have been a mess, if that was, because it was packaged very well in the packaging. But nonetheless, wireless charging on the base, terabyte of storage, and 16 gigs of RAM, a 5K monitor, and it's genuinely an all-in-one for me. And I have done some editing on here. As a matter of fact, I think I might edit this video on this computer. I'm not sure. No, I like to edit on my Mac. But nonetheless, um, the monitor is what sold me, because when I look at what monitors cost, if you look at a 5K monitor, you're going to spend a lot of. This is a 5K 34-inch ultra widescreen monitor. So if you price those, you're going to spend a lot of money. So I wanted something that was going to be good down the line if I did decide to edit on here, some mild editing. Again, like I said, I've done it before. But I just wanted a great viewing experience when just computing. I just wanted something really nice to compute on. Now, this does come with a attachable camera for the Windows Hello. It just snaps onto the top. It even has a lid where you can close to protect the camera or protect you by turning the camera off. It just plugs in through USB on the back, and then you're done. So I thought that was really cool that they have it like that. This is such a sleek setup that I was super impressed with it. And within a month or so, I was like, yeah, this is a keeper. Just before a month hit, I think I had like a month to return it. I'm not sure. Um, I'll leave a link down below for it though, because you can get it from HP. And if you get it from HP right now, you can get the baseline model for $250 off. So it's still going to run you about $1,750 roughly through them. For that baseline model, but my configuration is about $2,200 or so, and I'll leave the direct link to where I got mine from down below. But ultimately, folks, there's a lot going on in this computer, and I just wanted to share with you real fast what I actually use for regular computing. You might hear me say I am pro Apple for their laptops and their computers. Well, I technically am, but once I got rid of my Mac Minis and I moved to the MacBook Pro 14 for like everything editing, I did start to miss the bigger monitor setup. And the reason I didn't use, if you're going to ask, Jay, why didn't you use a 34-inch monitor that you said you had? Well, for one, it's not Type-C, and then it was 1080p. Uh, so I do have another 4K monitor, a Dell, but it was upstairs in the other office, and I didn't want to take it from her, And then I have another Dell that is a curved 144 hertz gaming monitor. But again, those monitors didn't sit well with the MacBook Pro when I was looking at it. I just didn't like how it came across. So ultimately, I decided I'm going to go ahead and just see if I can find something that's going to be good enough for daily computing that will not break the bank. Because if you consider, if I would have stayed with Apple for this type of setup, I probably would spend easily 5 to 10 grand just to get all of these things that I have. I have the camera. While it's not the best quality camera, it is definitely better than most cameras that I've seen, because it's an attachable camera and it's magnetic, so you can attach it in different places. I thought that was so cool. I'm telling you, that is one of the coolest things about this computer. All right, now here's the camera being used here on the device. It records in 1080p 30 and also 1292 30. And this setting right here is with no light. But they do have a function, a feature that you can turn on where it gives you light. It's built into the computer. It's a light bar basically that you can really brighten up the screen, as you can see there. And I can make adjustments here to make it really bright or really dim. I could change the hue. I can do a whole bunch with this setup right here. Normally I would keep it off though, because there's enough light reflecting off of the monitor. So while I'm excited to bring it to you, this is what I actually use in my office. And I do have a rising desk, so sometimes it's very nice to stand up and still have a very large screen when I'm computing, looking at, and I also, one thing I want to point out before I keep going, I use this for all of my meetings too. Like if I had a business meeting or something like that, this is what I would use for the video chat, and because they were all virtual meetings. And when I say meetings, I mean like my doctor's appointment, because man, I don't work for anybody. Uh, all of my doctor's appointments, when I would have a meeting, if they were virtual, this is the setup that I would use. So it's a nice wide angle on the camera too. But in the end, folks, you have to choose what works best for you. I knew going into this that I was not going to want a small storage or a storage lower than 1 TB. And I knew that I could handle 16 gigs of RAM. And ultimately, the Core i5 that came in here, I don't know that I wanted to have a Core i5 on a computer like this. So I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and see what we can do. As far as the graphics cards go, it does edit pretty well. I mean, I've used it to edit before, just not anything very heavy intense because again, the 14-inch MacBook Pro knocks it out the park. I can get things done quickly and boom, I'm off. So there it is, man. This is my setup here that I actually use for daily computing when I'm in this office right here. Now, obviously, I just picked up, I just got the new Windows laptop, and I'm really loving that already because I've been using Windows secretly as my main computing machine for the last 5 to 6 months probably. So I'm excited about it. I'll give you more coverage on the new laptop Surface Go 2. And as always, I have my wonderful Surface Go 3 always on hand. But I appreciate you guys joining me, and that's actually my setup in my office for my daily computing. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Quick look. See you in the next one. Take care.